Welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith with. It's the interview series presented by WFPK at WFPK.org, Consequence, and the Consequence Podcast Network. Thanks as always for making your way here and checking out the series. You know what to do if you like what you see. Hit that subscribe button. I put out 3 new interviews every single week, so it's a great way to keep up with all of your favorite artists. And I'm excited because I got some great artists on today. Julia Michaels, Ben Rice, they are behind the songs of the new Disney movie Wish. Hello.
Hello.
It's a pleasure to meet you both. I'm sure you've been hearing this a lot lately, but first off, congratulations, because what a gig to land. Not just Disney, but on the 100th anniversary. Have you gotten used to it? I'm sure at this point, maybe, hopefully it's kind of sunk in a bit.
Not even a little. Still very surreal, I think, to both of us.
100%.
Yeah. Well, if you don't mind, how does it happen? Because it is one thing, to land a nice songwriting job for a show, but I gotta imagine, something for Disney and on the 100th anniversary, maybe things are heightened. But if you don't mind walking us through, like, how did you all become the songwriters of this movie?
So I think it kind of started in 2016 for me. I had met Tom McDougall, who was doing music supervision over at Disney, and I had met him when he was working on Zootopia. And I was like, I'm a big Disney fan. Anywhere I can be of service, please let me know. I would just love to do whatever I can here. And he called me in 2018, I believe, to tell me that he was working on Ralph Breaks the Internet, and he needed a sort of pop reimagination for one of the songs in the film. And I was like, great, what is it? He was like, well, it's called Slaughter Race. And I was like, okay, challenge accepted, let's do it. And it ended up being one of the end credit songs for the film. And then in 2020, he called me during the pandemic and was like, we are working on a new film. Can't tell you what yet, but I'll send you a little synopsis, and if this sounds like something you would want to work on, just let me know. And I was like, obviously. So sends over this little blurb, young girl lives in magical kingdom ruled by handsome king, gives their wishes to him, thinks that he's going to protect them, finds out he's not as wonderful as everybody thinks, and sort of starts her selfless journey to get everybody's wishes back. And I was so inspired by that, especially during the pandemic when I didn't have any hope and I missed all my friends and my family. And so to be able to write a song about those things specifically was really special. And I've been writing songs with Ben for the last 10 years of my life. We've done a lot of my EPs and my album together. And I really wanted to do this with somebody that I love and someone that I trust, and someone that really just understands me and lets me sort of just do my thing. Yeah. And I called Ben and I was like, do you want to make a movie with me?
I'm sure that's an easy answer. Yes, there, I would imagine.
But we wrote this wish. We sent it in. We waited a couple weeks. Tom was like, oh, and by this time, Tom is now the president of Disney. So lots changed for Tom. And he calls me back a couple weeks later and he says, I just want to let you know that we're going to have plenty of opportunities to work with each other in the future. And I had to call you and just tell you that it's yours.
Nicely done. So then on the songwriting side, and Ben, maybe you want to take this one because your collaborations over the past decade, as Julie was talking about, does it suddenly change when you've got to write for something specific? I mean, like this is obviously probably going to be inspirational music to a certain extent.
Sure. I mean, well, it definitely changes. It's very different. Working with Julia for nearly 10 years, it's her voice, it's her perspective, her stories, her feelings. This is completely the opposite. These are characters that we have to bring to life and talk about. So much more challenging, but also much more fulfilling because it's a completely open canvas. And you can still put your perspective and your spin on things, but you're really trying to bring these characters to life. And yeah, very, very different process.
Yeah. Like, I'm thinking of like I'm a Star, the playfulness of I'm a Star. And when you're writing any of these songs, like dialogue's a part of the song, right? Like how different is that? Because it's not just always sing-songy. I mean, that's you've got different voices coming everywhere. You've got like how does that change when you're writing a song?
Well, I'm a Star specifically started as an idea from Jennifer Lee. She really wanted a song that really talked about how we're all connected. We're all made of the same thing. And that was really cool. And then for us to have to do a song that was scientific and smart and funny and still emotional and vulnerable, we were like, okay, this is quite a task. Oh, and plants and animals are gonna sing this song. So that was new for me because I've never done ensemble songs. I've only ever written songs for one person or a duet, never 36. It ended up being 36 people at the end, which is the most people that have ever sung on a Disney animated film. And that was a hard process, and also finding the right voice cast for each person or each tree, like porcupine, be like, oh, we need a better turtle. So that was that was an interesting process.
And that was honestly the fun part, because it went from, our demo is just Julia doing all of the voices, us singing together.
Yeah, there's only so much I can convey as 36 animals. Plants.
We would sing the choruses together, try to make it big, but like the fun part really was trying to cast everybody.
Yeah.
Because then the hard work was kind of done as far as the song goes, but the fun part of finding the right voices.
I think that was the fun part with a lot of the songs. There's only so much we can do with the demos, and then hearing Chris Pine bring a villain to life and Ariana bring this amazing protagonist to life, and all these different people bring animals and plants to life was just so cool to experience.
Yeah, on the now that the deluxe edition of the Wish soundtrack is out, we hear those demos, and like it's so interesting even how close though, like what your demo was ended up being to what they ended up performing. And I don't know what the conversations with the actors were like. I'd actually love to hear about that. But I also feel like if I were a songwriter, it would be addictive having a whole cast sing your every note and do everything that you say in that way. Is that the case?
Addicting. But we were in every single vocal session, making sure that it sounded the way we wanted it to be.
Yeah, because we had a vision with the filmmakers, and so to be there for every vocal session with all the actors, Chris, Ariana, everybody that was involved, we get to make sure that the DNA of the demos is there, and everyone was so lovely and so collaborative, and it really was a blast being with everybody.
Yeah, and I think when we do our demos, we do them enough to be able to know where we want the comedy, where we want the emotion, how we want those.
We put the colors in there.
Yeah, and so we tried to create just like a nice template for that to be sung.
And then fast forward to our spreadsheets of plants and animals. And we're just going to do this and where. It was interesting.
Yeah.
Songs by spreadsheets. That's. Yes. And shows it because we haven't mentioned Dave Mesker, who did the scoring part. What was that part of the collaboration?
So basically, we would write the song and we would get it as far as we could demo-wise, because we knew a lot of these songs were going to be reproduced with live or real instrumentation. So we would create the bass basically.
Yeah, because we know we're going to add orchestra, and we knew early on Dave Mesker was going to be involved with this. So we're going to
we need something bare, because we're like, oh, strings would be beautiful here, and we'll just let Dave experiment.
Or we may put temp strings, and I would always tell Dave, I'm like, don't ignore that. Do what you feel. We're just trying to get a feeling going. He was lovely. He's really the best. So lucky to have worked with him, and he did such an incredible job. Not only bringing the songs to another level and bring them to life, but to seamlessly go between score to song, back to score.
Yeah.
So it all is so fluid.
And just such a beautiful person to work with. Just loves Disney, loves what he does, just wanted to make.
He was a kid in the candy store.
He was when we did all the orchestral days and we had 86
It was 80 something
people, playing strings and all. Like, he still looked like a kid. Just, it was so beautiful, and I totally understand why when you're in the room with everybody and you get to hear all the strings for the first time, it really just resonates in your body in the most beautiful way.
Yeah. Well, I was I guess reading an interview that he had done also, and talking about the other side with, being able to take the songs that you created and then just expand them and expand them. And it sounds like such an interesting, way to kind of make this whole project come together. But also, it should be said, for your all's side too, like how impressive it is, even the different moods. Like, I say that with anybody, because and nothing against an artist who has kind of one sound and they go in there and that's the sound they make. But to find someone like the opening track, "Welcome to," is it Rosas? Yeah. And then something like, which has got that Mediterranean feel. And then knowing what I know now, which is like a march. And I don't know, like, is that guidance? I mean, how are you all coming up with these sounds without really even knowing what the movie is going to be?
Well, I mean, we had weekly meetings with the filmmakers, and we would discuss, we do one at a time. It's in the back of our mind to try to have some kind of a common thread, but it's one thing at a time. And what is the feeling? What should it be? And we sit together, brainstorm, try things. And then ultimately when we start working with Mesker, we can really take it to that more developed sound and bring in all the most beautiful players in the world to make the songs even better. But each one stood on its own.
I think a lot of it goes based off of feeling. Like, for Welcome to Rosas, we were like, oh, this is the welcome song. It needs to feel alive and of the place that she's in. She's in this like Mediterranean, Iberian, North African place. Let's try and incorporate as much of that instrumentation as we can. For Knowing What I Know Now, that is your full sort of revolt.
It's our teen anthem.
We were like, what better way to do that than something that sounds drivey and in your face? I think a lot of it just comes from what's
the feeling.
What's the feeling.
Are there songs that didn't make it, like cutting room floor songs?
No, not really. We had done like a reprise of a song that didn't end up making it in, or we had done like
needed, really.
Or like done a song that like it was like a clip of a song that didn't end up going, but it wasn't like full.
No, like once we really were in the thick of it with everybody, the filmmakers, each song we presented really, feel bad saying it made it, but like they all worked.
We got very lucky.
That's an impressive batting average right there. That's but I was also thinking, like, if you had the leftovers, then you get to go, oh, I'm going to take that for myself later on. I get to keep that now. But so unfortunately,
no, it doesn't really work like that, because obviously these songs are so specific to the movie, and as the movie changes or the story changes, the lyrics have to change. They have to keep up with the story, and they're just way too specific for them to be like an artist.
Just
an artist song.
Now, for something being so long in the making, and I'm thinking the last album, not in chronological order, back there. Do you know what's next on that end of things? And then I guess what I'm tying this into, do you feel like this now has any influence on how you write going forward?
I think what it has done, it has shown me that I can access more than I thought I could. I think I always say that my music is sort of like coconut water. It's like an acquired taste. You either like really like it or you don't. And I've always tried to play with cadences and tempos and doing things a little bit off kilter. And I definitely played with that in Wish. You know, I think one of the best things that we were told early on was by Chris Buck, the director. He said, just do you, just make, you know, a Disney movie in your tone of voice, basically.
Right.
And so
it was very freeing to get that from him.
Yeah, and I think if it taught me anything, is just how much I've loved being able to be a part of such a collaborative thing where you can create the world and you can help with thoughts and feelings and you can be really expansive lyrically and colorful lyrically, and how much I just want to be able to do more of this. We want to be able to do more of this.
I would hope that you would want to do more.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you know, that means it was a good experience is what I'm getting to. And
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I always say, I mean, this was my first real experience working on a full soundtrack, and everybody that we worked with were just
couldn't have been better.
Exceptional.
Honestly.
Like, no a-holes in the room. I'm grateful that this was our first experience. They really all were so amazing.
Yeah. I'll be a bit more direct on it. Do you know what the next step is for you on the solo front?
Do I? Maybe. Can I tell you? I don't think so.
Yeah. And that's fine. That's fine. I mean, I'm assuming you're working on music. That's right. Like people work on music. If you're a musician, you work on music. So
I'm always writing. I love to write. It's my first love. It's my baby. So I love
that's
to
the
write.
easy answer right there. That's the
Exactly.
Right on. Seriously, congratulations to the both of you on this. It is such a fun album soundtrack. I was trying to figure out which word I wanted to go there, and I guess they both work.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, seriously, this is such a cool project for you guys to be a part of, and I'm so grateful that you talked to me about it. So thanks so much for taking the time today.
Thank you. This is awesome.
And thanks to my guest. Also, thanks to you for checking out the episode in the series. Before you get out of here, hit that subscribe button. Again, you get 3 brand new interviews every single week. New one every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at right here on YouTube, or of course anywhere in podcast land, including iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, NPR, or WFPK.org as well. A great way to keep up with your favorite artists and discover new ones as well. Then after that, actually head over to WFPK.org. That's where I do a show Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's an hour full of song premieres, music news, anniversary spins, bonus interviews, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern at WFPK.org. Consequence has your music and film news. You can also find me on the social media spots, Facebook, Instagram, mostly on Twitter. All 3 of them, the address is at Kyle Meredith. Do hope you like and follow along. That does it for another edition. I'm Kyle Meredith. I'll see you next time.